Welcome to the next ACT user training module in our set of videos that we're creating. Today we're going to look at working with static groups. Following on from our first video on working with the list view, today we're going to look at static groups and how they work. Static groups are essentially used when we want to group together a list of data and hold it longer term for use in things like marketing campaigns. But this type of group predominantly would be used if we were holding together a specific list of people to, say, a breakfast meeting or something where we don't want the system to put the people in the group for us. We want to control the group, control its membership, think of it as a VIP list of people. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over to the list view, and you can see I've got all my contacts in my demo database there, and I'm going to put this on tag mode so that I can tag up a specific set of contacts in that list. Once tag mode's activated, I'm just going to randomly select the contacts that I want in the group. And you can see I've got there a definitive selection of people. When I've got the ones that I want, I click on Lookup Selected, and that has given me just the 9 contacts that I've selected. This group is going to be very, very VIP. So we're going to get hold of one person there, and we're just going to untag that one person by clicking Omit Selected. So I've got the specific people that I want in my new group. So I'm going to go over here to the groups area, and what you will see happens is a list of the existing groups that I've got in the system. Incidentally, these groups all come when you install ACT out of the box, so there are no groups in here that I've created already. If I go and mess about with the name of this group, I'm overwriting an existing group, so I'm going to right click and I'm going to create a new group instead. And I can see now the cursor's flashing, waiting for me to name the group. So I'm going to call it Claire's VIP event. And I don't particularly need a description, but I would use a description box if the group name doesn't immediately tell any other user what this group is specifically about. You can see I'm on the Contacts tab and I've got no contacts that are members of this group at the moment. But if I go Add Remove Contacts here, I will get 2 options to put people into this group. So I can either have a static group, and a static group is the way we're going today. So I'm going to put a static list of people into that group, and ACT won't allow that to change unless at a later date I go and either add or remove members from it. Dynamic groups will be covered in another video. So if I click on the contacts option here, it's now saying who do you want to put into that group. So by default it allows me to select one at a time people from the all contacts list, and I just use the single arrow to put them over. If I decide I don't want somebody in a group, I can use a single arrow pointing in the opposite direction, so towards the left column of contacts, to take it back out. In the case of the group I've just created, I want to put in it the contacts that I've already tagged up. So I'm going to go into the drop down arrow and I'm going to ask it to show me the current lookup of contacts, which is the 8 that I specifically selected. Now I can use the double arrow and I can put those people across into that group. If I now say OK, you'll see that those people have populated the contacts field, and when I say OK again, you'll see that I've now in the contacts tab of the group got my list of members. If I want to go back to that list now at any time, if I right click in the bottom half of the screen, I can create a lookup, and that will take me back to the main lookup of contacts that I have in that group. If I want to go back to the group itself, I can just click on groups and that will take me back and show me my VIP event. Now, in addition to that, what I may need to know is who's actually sent me an email back or phoned me and said, Claire, I would love to come to this VIP event. So what I'm going to do now is right click, create a new subgroup, and I'm going to give it the same name. It's a really good idea to keep the naming conventions of your groups identical. That way you can find them much easier in a search. But this time at the end, I'm going to put accepted, so that I know they've accepted my invitation. But at this point, I'm not going to add any contacts to this subgroup because I'm going to wait till people start to respond to my marketing campaign. So if I click here on Claire's VIP event, you will now see that I've got a subgroup of my main group. I'm just going to go back to my VIP event and I'm going to click through to one of these contacts so that you can see on the main screen the main record card. Now, if I click on groups companies here, immediately in this area I am shown which static groups Jesus, in this case, is a member of. If he now rings me and says, Claire, I'd love to come to the event, if I go add remove groups here, it will give me on the left a list of the groups that I've got in the database. On the right, it tells me which groups he's currently a member of. So what I'm going to do now is click on my accepted subgroup and use a single arrow to put him in there. If I wanted to, I could take him out of the main event, but in this case, I'm going to leave him in there as well. So if we say OK, we can see now that we've got this person, Jesus, in both our main group and our subgroup as well. So that's how easy it is to control static contacts within a group and then work with them at a later date. And you can keep that group within the database as long as you want to. One more thing I'm going to show you on this. If I go back to groups, let's look at why I kept that naming convention. Within here now, if I go look up and then name, which is a group name, and I say Claire VIP, I don't need all of it, just part of the value, the first part, because I'm looking where it starts with. You'll see that it then comes back, and ACT actually says you've got two groups that start with Claire VIP. You've got your main event, and then you've got your accepted subgroup. Not a lot of people find this, hence why I'm including it in this short video. But if we go to reports now, and then group membership, group reports, sorry, I'm in front of myself, and then group membership. I'm now going to run that to the current lookup, which is just these two groups here, and I'm going to include subgroups. If I say OK to that, what you will see is when ACT generates a report, this is a standard report. I haven't customized it in any way, but you'll see that that gives me a really nice out-of-the-box report that breaks down the group membership. So if I want to produce this report, I can see exactly who I invited to my group and exactly who accepted as well. If I wanted to elaborate on that, I could also create a declined subgroup, and then I can actually monitor my numbers. If I close down that preview now and go back to the main screen, you can see I've still got my groups there. If I go look up all groups, that will return me to the full group membership. It returns me in a list view, so just to polish this off, we're going to go over to detail view, and that will take us right back where we started. So I hope you enjoyed that short demonstration on static groups. Just one more example of the really bespoke training that we deliver at Olivia Clare. If there are any other topics or anything that we can help you with relating to ACT, please just either visit our website or drop me an email directly. Thanks again for watching.